Hello, and welcome back to Tom's Garage. And I have a special, exciting car for you today. The all-new Toyota CHR Plus, a fully electric version of the Toyota CHR. Technically, it's using the nameplate, but it's based off of the ETNGA platform shared with the BZ4X. I'm very fortunate to this because Vertu Toyota Glasgow South in Darnley literally got this delivered on Friday. It's got 22 miles on the car. They got in touch and was like, would I like to jump on and see it? And I'm like, a couple of days later, yes. So this is going to be a first look. This isn't on loan to me for like a week like some of the other cars. I have got this for about 2 hours. So I thought, why don't I show you around the car today? And we can get kind of a sneak peek of the new CHR Plus. So as I mentioned, built on the ETNGA platform, there is an Icon trim, this design trim, which is the mid-spec one, and then XL at the top of the range. Now, the prices start at £32,995 for a base model Icon. You're looking around £35,495 for a design trim without any options. This one is wearing the platinum white pearl paint, which the sun was out about 10 minutes ago. It looks very much like my Lexus LC500 paint, £950, but it looks fantastic. I'm trying to find a bit of a better image of it on camera. Hopefully you can see it. It's got a really nice sheen to it. So that means this car, you're looking around £36,445, roughly. At the moment, there's 2 batteries available. So, would you believe it or not, there's a 57.7 kilowatt hour battery in the Icon model. If you go up to the Design or the XL, you're getting a 77 kilowatt hour battery. So that's giving you a little bit more range, a little bit more power as well. You're 123 kilowatts for the base model and the base battery, but the higher output battery for the Design and the XL is 165 kilowatts. So you do get slightly improved performance on the mid-trim and higher trim, as well as range. You're looking around 284 miles of range on the base model. However, you're well over 300 miles. If you go for the design trim, you do get these 18-inch wheels, which help with mileage. It's about 376 miles claimed range with those wheels. If you go for the top of the range XL trim, you get 20-inch alloy wheels, so that's slightly more attractive wheels, but your range drops about 344 miles. So again, it just depends what you're after. If you're looking to maximise range, go for the design trim with 18-inch wheels. That'll sort you out. If you want a more attractive looking car with larger alloy wheels, then yes, go for the top of the range XL. But I think this is going to be the happy medium. I did sit in the one in the showroom, and it has obviously a couple of nice features, and yeah, that's a little bit more money, like the bi-tone paint, but you're looking around another 3 or 4 grand for that. It's about £39,495 for an XL model without any options. This one's comfortably in that middle bracket there. Top speed of this car, may as well mention it while I remember, is 99 miles per hour, and 0 to 60 is around 7.3 seconds on this battery output here. Charging, the charge flaps around the other side of the car. We'll get onto the design in a second, but this is quite exciting to show you. Oh, spider, lovely. So you've got your CCS Type 2 charger there, no shadow mole or anything on this one. And you can charge 10 to 80% in 28 minutes up to 150 kilowatts. 0 to 100% is about 7 hours at 11 kilowatts if you've got one of those like wall box charger things. So yeah, you can charge it at home and all that good stuff there. The front of the car, it's got that hammerhead style design we've seen on things like the Toyota Prius, some of the other new Toyota models, even the new facelifted BZ4X has got something similar with that front end design. This looks rather handsome and does look different to the combustion hybrid CHR, which this is on sale with alongside. So in the showroom, you'll see them side by side, but they do have different interiors and exteriors, just share the name. The weight of this car, depending on the battery, is about 1,910 to 1,985 kilograms. They can tow 750 kilos with a braked trailer, so if you are looking to tow, you can do that. Have a quick look at the wheels again. Dunlop wheel, this is 235/60 R18s. Got the black gloss mirror housing there. This one's only got the reverse camera, you don't get the 360 camera on the design trim. Length for this car is about 4.5 metres, width about 1.87 and 1.59 metres in height. So when you're around the rear, you can see that coupified body, the CHR design inspiration with the door handle up here, slim rear tail lights as well. So it's, in my head, it's like a BZ4X, it's like a coupified and a little bit smaller. Probably because I know it's based on the the BZ4X platform, but I think it looks handsome. My mum rather liked the look of it when it's seen it in the driveway, kind of gave her a surprise because she never knew I was getting it. Do have 186mm of ground clearance as well, and the boot space, if I open it up you can see that the bar light little camera there, Toyota badge, which is interesting. See, it's quite a cute small size. CHR there. Come on, have I locked the car? Misbehaving. Right, there we go. 416 litres of boot space inside this. We've got a hard shelf here, plastic on the side, little dinkets down the side. We've got your power outlet there for vehicle to load, which is rather nice to see. Charging cables, and then a little bit of storage underneath as well. But yeah, that is what the rear of the boot looks like. You do have that coupified look, but it's going to be plenty enough load height just to kind of get in, slide things in. The seats will fold down. You can see you've got 60/40 folding there. Have a quick look in the back. So fold them down. There we go. Relatively flat floor back there. That's not too terrible. Oh, and I've just trapped the seatbelt behind there. That's fantastic. But yeah, it could do with a seatbelt runner there so it doesn't get trapped. But ISOFIX points on the outer seats. Then you've got your, obviously, seatbelt buckles in the centre, seating for free, cup holders in the centre, little bit of venting, USB-C, 2 map pockets at either side, and then your door card, you've got that like microfiber suede material, plastic, decent enough door bin for a bottle of juice, mechanical door release, and then your window switch. Privacy glass on this mid-trim design model. Yeah, and a relatively flat floor, so it doesn't look too terrible back there. We may as well close the boot since we're here. You can comment below what you think about the rear design. But yeah, that is, as you can see, no wiper blade or anything. It's got that coupified look. Now we'll have a quick look in the interior. We do have keyless entry with the little dots there. Some of the other Toyota models at the iGo, you touch the button. Now it's a little bit, well, ignore the paper because it is a demonstrator they've just got in, and I have bought biscuits for the guys at the branch to say thank you, so ignore that. But we do have manual seat, lumbar support. This one's got the fake leather with the cloth in the interior. Different interior trims depending if you go for which trim level, so that does change. Orange electric windows, mirrors that fold in with the blind spot on there. You can have it in auto, of course. Door locks, 4 window switches. Again, that's soft touch microfiber. 2 bits for bottles of juice, which is ideal, and they're saying no open cans or no open cups. This looks like it extends mostly below the sill, so it's getting a half pass because you can see that's dirty, but that's clean, so your back of your legs mostly aren't going to get dirty, which is good. But yeah, you've got some adjustment to slide that seat forward, and then you've got some manual adjustment there. Go ahead and step inside. It reminded me of the BZ4X with regards to the screen, and the Prius as well, kind of being in your eye line, so you don't need a heads-up display because you sit here and you overlook and there's your screen. 92%, 312 miles, 25 miles on the clock, or the odometer, 14 degrees today, and it's about 3 o'clock. We've got manual, automatic wipers, but I meant to say we've got actual stocks, which is nice. Light controls, then you've got this little button here which controls your screen, and then you can tap that back, like if you want to go through various, there we go, so we can see 2.8 miles per kilowatt hour, lane departure, cruise control, and all that good stuff on the right hand side here. Trip computer, climate, vent there, boot release, automatic headlights, and then your bonnet release there, and then as I mentioned, your door window switches. We've got 2 USB, I was going to say 2 wireless phone chargers, and then your gear selector here, which is very familiar for other electric Toyota vehicles. There's your reverse camera, P for park, your eco mode, snow mode, traction control, auto hold, and this is your touchscreen here. Again, it's the same interface that we've seen in all the other Toyota and Lexus products the last couple of years. But yeah, you can put all your CarPlay and all that good stuff through here as well. And there's your map. Yeah, pretty decent. The main thing to go through is you tap this little button here if you want to mute out your speed warning, which is good, and then you have to go into settings, driver assistance, and you can tap off some of the other things as well if you want to turn various things off, but yeah, you can go through it at your will, but that's the main probably bits you want to interact with, out with maybe calls and your music. All right, you join me behind the wheel of the CHR Plus, the all-electric version. Now, we're sitting in traffic at the moment, averaging 2.9 miles per kilowatt. Little screen up in front of me here. Heated seat, heated steering wheels on auto. We do have electric windows, which are one touch all round, which is nice. And I have noticed the front windows do have acoustic glass, the kind of double glazed there, which is nice. They don't do the Lexus thing of like kind of softening and then going up. I guess they keep that for Lexus. But yeah, it feels pretty nice place to be. I've managed to get myself relatively comfortable sitting up, got a decent height. There's a Rhino Capture in front of me and a Polo. Feel a little bit taller than those, but not overly much so. It's still compact to mid-size SUV, but it's got the coupified body. With the rear view mirror, I can see the people behind me smoking, but when you look around the rear, we do have quite a big blind spot. We do have the reverse camera on this model. I like the fact we've got tactile buttons. When we do move, I have been driving today, the ride is good in this car. I think that's where something like Toyota can lend their expertise in comparison to some of the new manufacturers coming to the UK, just because they may be leaning with tech. Toyota have leaned in with this being a car first and then having some of the tech on top of it. So if you like your car to be a car and not like a flashing disco with big screen, this could be the vehicle for you, just because it feels familiar, it feels well built. Even just like closing the door, the materials feel solid, like you're touching bits, it feels like it will last. The car comes with a 10-year warranty, so what that means in the UK is you get your initial warranty, and then after, I think it's the first 3 years, you take it to the Toyota dealership to get a service, and then it activates it for the following year, so it's activated up to the 10 years. So you could buy this in 2026, time 2036 comes, you're still going to be covered for those 10 years, up to 100,000 miles. So that covers from basically bumper to bumper. That covers out with like some of the consumables, but I have the same warranty on my own personal car, and that covered when the AC unit broke. I think the car was at 6 years old or something. I got that replaced, and that was saved me like £900 alone in that. So it is worth taking it to get it serviced, updated, and then increasing that, as I said, that warranty up to the 10 years. Now, the smooth drivetrain being electric is what you'd expect. I do have the regen paddles behind the steering wheel. I have it on max to the foot of the accelerator, pulls it into charge. It's an attractive looking vehicle with traditional like grab handles as well. You just get in and out, mechanical door release, and it's not reinventing the wheel that way either. I like this. I like the way it drives, I like the way it feels, I like the way you just get into it. It's like a traditional car, and it feels pretty conventional up here. Yes, there's a large screen with your climate and things in there, but it doesn't feel overly dominating in comparison to some of the other vehicles that throw a lot of things at you. And it's relatively easy to turn off some of the safety features that you might not want. Not everybody wants all them on all the time. But yes, if you're looking for something for a nice ride height to get into, something that's relatively efficient with good range, I said I'm still seeing 312 miles at the moment, then this could be the electric vehicle for you. To recap, the price of this one being a design is 36,445 with the pearl white paint, but prices do start about 32,995 for that Icon trim with the 57 kilowatt hour battery. This one does have the 77 kilowatt hour battery with the 18-inch wheels. If you go for the 20-inch wheels, you obviously lose a little bit of range, but you might want the style. And acceleration's about 0 to 60 in 7 seconds, and this feels faster than that. I got in it and I was like, oh, the initial 0 to 30 is pretty rapid. And there's not really any wheel spin. Sometimes I've been saying this, if you've been watching my other videos on these electric SUVs, when you put your foot down from a still, you get like electric wheel spin, or wheel spin just because all the electric power's going there. I haven't experienced that today, so I guess the traction control's got some sort of software engineering behind that there as well. But she's probably re-emphasising that Toyota have put this as a car first and then happens to be an electric powertrain. But that is the driving portions and driving impressions of the CHR Plus. So I want to say a special thanks to Toyota Vertu Glasgow for loaning me the CHR Plus for today's video. If you like this video, please give me a thumbs up, subscribe to the Tom's Garage channel below, comment your thoughts on the new electric Toyota, and I will see you all next video. Thanks for watching. Ciao.